What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. It's been a hot minute since I've made a Mass Effect video on my channel, so in celebration of N7 Day, I'm going to share not 1, not 10, but 69 secrets and tiny details only veteran Mass Effect players know about. Nice. So without further ado, let's buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and dive into the video. Jack versus Miranda, Legion versus Tali. The squad mate confrontations in Mass Effect 2 are iconic, but did you know that Bioware originally planned for an additional blowout fight between Mordin and Grunt, even going so far as recording dialogue lines for this content, which has been left hidden in the game files. Earning the loyalty of your squad mates is one of the most important parts of Mass Effect 2. It can determine who lives and who dies during the final mission of the game. In order to earn your crew's trust, you need to complete their loyalty missions to help them resolve any lingering personal issues before heading through the Omega-4 relay. However, completing loyalty missions alone is not enough because there are interpersonal beefs between some of your squad mates as well. At different points in the story, you will need to squash some beef between crew members to keep everyone focused on the mission. These confrontations will be resolved with Shepard either passing a speech check to squash the beef or choosing a side in the argument. In cases where Shepard has to choose a side, the loser of the argument will no longer be loyal to the commander. However, Shepard can regain that loyalty with a one-on-one conversation after the fact. In the case of Mordin and Grunt, these one-on-one conversations with Shepard are all that remains of their blowout fight, because unfortunately the audio of the fight itself was either never recorded or not included in the game. Here are Mordin's hidden dialogue lines.
Nothing to say to you. Talk to the Krogan if you like.
Mordin, I need both of you. I need his brute strength and your brains. And I trust that when I take his side in an argument, you'll understand. I need to keep him happy.
Ah, feelings weren't genuine. We're patronizing him. Understand now. We'll stay out of his way. Thank you for talking, Shepard. Glad to clear this up. Need anything else?
You can say whatever you like to the others, but don't mouth off at me.
Arrogant. Don't owe you anything, human. Am here doing my job. Can't ask any more.
I cured that plague on Omega. I faced down a Krogan chieftain on Tuchanka. Get angry if you want, but do not walk away from me.
Yes, you did. Apologies, Shepard. Tired of being yelled at, being told I made mistakes. Thought that ended on Tuchanka. Guess not.
Your attitude is up to you. Just get the job done.
Agreed.
Mordin, please, talk to me.
Mission readiness not in doubt, Shepard. Nothing else to talk about.
And here are Grunt's remaining dialogue lines.
I don't like being shot down in front of Mordin, Shepard. If he's right, he should be strong enough to fight me.
I sided with him because I know you can take it. He needs to be indulged.
So I can take it. That doesn't mean I like it.
You're not here because I agree with you. You're here because you're tough enough to suck it up.
I'm supposed to like being second to a Solarian?
If I tried to avoid pissing you off, then I'd be weak. I can do this shuffle all day, Grunt.
You do it well for a human. Mordin is lucky you were there, Shepard. I let it go because we're a clan. You do it well for a human. Mordin is lucky you were there. Being Urdnot makes me want to fight, not just able to.
He needed me to step in before you tore him a new cloaca, or whatever they have.
That's true. Acts like he wants one. All right, Shepard. I let it go, because we're a clan. That's true. Acts like he wants one. Mordin is lucky you were there. Being Urdnot makes me want to fight, not just able to.
Just do your job. That's all I need from you.
It's all you'll get. For now.
Ultimately, these confrontations were cut from the final game, which is a good thing in my estimation. It was already a big task to adequately prepare for the final mission of the game and keep all your crew alive in the process. So having another opportunity to lose a squad mate's loyalty would be like, aw, come on, bro. And speaking of blowout fights, tensions run high between Commander Shepard and Joker during the course of Mass Effect 3. After the fall of Thessia, Joker reveals this about his family situation.
See this? Tiptree. Little colony out in the ass end of nowhere. My dad lives there. So does my sister. Reapers rolled in about 2 weeks ago. So you can assume that I'm generally aware there's a war on, Commander.
Later on, we can overhear Liara providing some details about the evacuation of this colony.
Joker, you
you asked for news about the human colony, Tiptree.
Hey, Liara, you don't need to worry about that right now.
Now's as good a time as any. I'm getting reports of refugee ships from Tiptree landing on Solarian colonies. I don't have names. I'm sorry. It was mostly children.
Well, Gunny, Hillary, my sister, Gunny's a nickname. She's had it since, she's only 15, so if it's children, then maybe I only lost my dad. Kind of an asshole thing to hope for.
Jeff, right now, take any kind of hope you can get.
Thanks. You too.
Sadly, we can learn the truth about what happened to Joker's sister Hillary straight from the mouth of her killer. While exploring Huerta Memorial Hospital on the Citadel, you can overhear a series of conversations between a PTSD-riddled Asari huntress and what I assume is her therapist.
We're at this little farm. We'd killed a few enemy scouts, and it's quiet. The shuttle gets called away for support, so I'm there for the night. The humans get me dinner, show me around. One of them, this freckled farm girl, maybe 15. She wants to hear all about what it's like to be a commando.
You were probably the most exciting thing ever to land at her farm.
Yeah. Well, she's saying she wants to be a pilot, and I say that life on a ship is grimy. And she asks if I'd like to use their shower.
Going by my records, you'd been on active duty for more than 3 weeks. Probably no real chance to get clean in all that time.
Pretty much, yeah. There were still farmers alive. They were being held prisoner. And Naira was there, directing the other forces. I could see her. I got within 10 meters of her. If I just had my gun.
What happened next?
I got to the prisoners. The farm girl unlocked their restraints, and that's when they all started screaming.
The prisoners were indoctrinated.
You think?
And once the alarm was sounded?
Naira's eyes were black. The whole time, not just for a second. I could feel her mind from where I was standing. The humans were in the way, attacking us. I used my biotics, flung them around. I'd been horrified when Naira tore the farmers apart, but goddess, I ripped them in half.
They must have searched for you.
I'm an Asari huntress. No damn husk is gonna find me unless I let it.
But the farm girl who was with you?
Her leg was broken. She was whimpering, and Naira, I saw her through a hole in the boards. She was coming closer with those dead black eyes. And Hillary, the farm girl, she couldn't stop crying. They were gonna hear.
What did you do?
What do you think?
You saved a lot of lives.
And I killed those farmers.
They were indoctrinated. You had to defend yourself. And as for Hillary...
Oh, you idiot. When I took a shower and left my gun in the bedroom, I killed them. Naira. At least she can blame the Reapers. But I'm just... me. The color in my eyes. Did they turn back after? Could I get that gun now?
I'll see what I can do.
To recap and put all the pieces together, Reapers attacked the colony of Tiptree where Joker's sister and father lived. Joker's sister and an Asari huntress managed to escape the initial attack, but had to return to the farm to radio for help. When they went back, they discovered indoctrinated human prisoners, and the Asari killed them to defend herself and Hillary. They managed to get away and hide in a barn, but Hillary broke her leg and was unable to stay silent through the pain. Fearing that Hillary's crying would alert the Banshee, the Asari huntress killed Joker's sister and managed to stay out of sight until she could be evacuated. She blamed herself for not being able to defend the colonists because she didn't have her gun with her when the attack started. And the sad part is, Joker doesn't even know what happened at this point. He doesn't know the truth about his sister, as the whole galaxy is overrun by Reapers. During the Arrival DLC, Shepard has to make a tough call to destroy the Alpha Relay to stave off the imminent Reaper invasion, wiping out an entire Batarian solar system in the process. The final mission of the expansion is a race against time, with a big-ass clock in the station signaling when the Reapers will arrive. But this clock isn't just there for show. The countdown timer is a real time limit on Shepard's mission. So what happens if you let this timer reach 0 before completing the mission? Let's find out together. So yeah, the Reapers win in this case, leading to a classic critical mission failure. This scene is a terrifying future, and it's one we can't actually explore more because we get a game over screen. Did you know that it's possible to save Mordin solus in Mass Effect 3? Typically, Mordin will always die during the Tachanka mission in Mass Effect 3. He will either die dispersing the genophage cure, or get shot by Renegade Shepard. However, if you made a series of specific choices in previous games, then it is possible to convince Mordin to stand down here. For starters, Wrex sadly has to die during his confrontation with Shepard on Virmire. And second, you have to destroy Malin's research data during Mordin's loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2. This will cause Eve to die off-screen during the trip to the Stroud facility. In this case, Urdnot Reeve will be the unchecked and unhinged leader of the Krogan, which paves the way for Shepard talking down Mordin from the brink.
Control room at top of Shroud Tower. Must take elevator up.
You're going up there?
Yes. Readings at lab suggest temperature malfunction. Could affect cure viability. Need to adjust settings manually.
It's too dangerous, Mordin. We need to get out of here.
No. Temperature variance could destroy cure. Time running out. Have to go up.
Mordin, you're not going up.
Not concerned for my safety. Concerned I might discover something. Sabotage? But whose? Why, Shepard? That desperate for Salarian aid? Or that afraid of Krogan?
Every time we've talked about this before, you've defended the genophage. Hell, you destroyed Malin's data. How can you change your mind now?
I made a mistake! Focused on big picture. Big picture made of little pictures. Too many variables. Can't stop now. Gone too far. Eve dead. Krogan deserve a cure.
I agree, Mordin. But not now.
If not now, when?
Someday. But when we stop the Reapers, this whole galaxy will need time to recover. Reeve won't give us that time. He'll attack while the rest of us are weak.
Eve would have stopped him.
Eve isn't here.
No. Suggest we let Krogan believe dispersal was a success. Ensure alliance. We'll need to disappear to keep story accurate. Reeve will think I died at Tower, curing genophage.
Doing what had to be done.
We'll also inform the Dalatras of the deception.
Good. Here are the coordinates for the Crucible project. We can use your help building it.
Thank you, Shepard. Too eager to atone. Would have compounded error. Glad you were here.
Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
And the Solarians? How did you manage to get them on board?
Careful diplomacy.
I don't think I want to know what that means. Though I bet it has something to do with the Solarian scientist who just showed up at our door. He's so full of ideas about the Crucible, nobody can shut him up.
No comment, sir.
I'll take your word on that.
In this case, Mordin will join the Crucible project as a war asset worth 25 points. Shepard will also successfully maintain support from both the Krogan and Solarians because Reeve is too retarded to discover the sabotage. We'll also get some unique dialogue with Garrus about Mordin's involvement in the sabotage of the genophage cure.
Speaking of which, I hear the Solarians are helping us out. How did you manage that?
I made sure the genophage cure wouldn't work. It was the price for Solarian cooperation.
A few years ago, I would have said you paid too much. But now, if there was a deal that could save Palaven, I wouldn't be so certain. Did Mordin just go along with it?
Well, it took some persuading.
Oh, that devious little Solarian, I'll be damned. You tricked Reeve.
Can you blame me?
No, not at all. I can thank you for it. Wrex might have figured it out, but I guess Reeve is too stupid. Of course, I can't actually tell him that, but wow. He doesn't know. You played both sides. Remind me never to play poker with you.
Other than this, Mordin is mostly off the grid, since he is officially listed as KIA in order to maintain the ruse that he died dispersing the genophage cure. However, when Shepard is making his final Zoom calls at the end of the game, we could say a final goodbye to the homie Mordin.
Shepard, glad you landed safely. Understand resistance heavy.
How are you doing, Mordin?
Well, assisted with Crucible. Fascinating technology. Hope it works.
I'm sure you did a good job.
Wasn't worried about me. Krogan fighting well?
Yeah. You did the right thing.
Good luck, Shepard. Honored to have been part of Project.
Thanks, Mordin. Be safe up there.
While I enjoy this ending for my favorite scientist, Salarian, the cost of sacrificing Wrex is a bit too steep for my blood. Early in Mass Effect 2, Anderson will contact Shepard and ask to meet on the Citadel. If you save the Council in Mass Effect 1, you'll have a Zoom meeting with them and Anderson. Most players will knock this off the list very early in Mass Effect 2. However, if you delay the meeting until after you've recruited Legion and you bring him along for the ride, then you'll get this unique dialogue.
Go back to Ilos and talk to Vigil. Or just look at what's left of Sovereign. It's obvious the technology is more advanced than ours.
The hologram on Ilos is no longer functional, and we have found nothing to suggest that Sovereign was not a Geth creation.
We do not have the technology to create such a vessel.
The word of your trophy is suspect. Perhaps the Geth following Saren were simply more advanced.
This Reaper theory proves just how fragile your mental state is. You have been manipulated. By Cerberus, and before them, by Saren.
The elusive man warned me. He said you're all too stupid and scared to see the truth.
Shepard will also have some unique dialogue with Anderson after hanging up on the Council.
Last I knew, we were still fighting holdouts.
Here and there. But they are increasingly disorganized. It's long since stopped being called a war. More like cleanup. Not that you can ever discount them. But we haven't had serious casualties for months. A civilian ship will spot an enclave and we send in a squad to clear it. That's probably why your trophy butt hasn't caused the stampede. They're not quite the boogeymen they used to be.
A trophy? How you gonna do my homeboy wrong like that, Anderson? Don't you know that unit has a soul? Alrighty, we gotta talk about the Tali sweat controversy. Because Mass Effect is a series that allows the player to enter into romantic relationships with a whole range of characters, there is a section of the fandom who obsesses over their video game crushes. While most of this interest in romancing aliens is fairly harmless and just for fun, there are some fans who slide further onto the degenerate side of the spectrum. I'm sure most of us want to know what Tali looks like under the mask, but there are a few that take it a bit further than that. The most bizarre thread I've ever seen has to be a series of posts detailing the fragrance, taste, and other properties of Quarian sweat. The post was originally made on the now-defunct Bioware social forums, but for better or worse, some screenshots survived and have since been shared on Reddit. Brace yourself. You might want to be sitting down for this next part. A while ago, I created a thesis on Clan Zora regarding Quarian sweat. It started off as an analysis of Tali sweat, trying to figure out what it smells and tastes like. I quickly realized that most scents originate from bacteria, which would be minimal to non-existent for Quarians. The next best thing would be urea. Urea is essential for the metabolism of mammals and also a bonding agent. My man goes on to provide illustrations of various chemical compounds. I'm no Mordin Solus, so most of this description goes over my head, but the author concludes that Quarian sweat may be addictive to other races and have a relaxing neurotoxic effect. As for the fragrance, quote, we can tell that Tali would not smell nearly as bad as those filthy humans. Her sweat's a drug and a natural performance enhancer. This dude is levels of down bad heretofore unseen in the Mass Effect community. I strongly disavow this post. The Mass Effect games have a lot of funny moments, sometimes in cases where the developers weren't even trying to be humorous. One moment that's become a bit of a meme over the years is Shepard's passionate yell when Steve Cortez crashes his shuttle in the final mission of Mass Effect 3.
Steve! I'm all right! You sure?
During an interview, Shepard's voice actor Mark Meer shed some light on why this performance was so passionate.
There's one moment from 3, which has been the source of much amusement for me as well, where the possibility that Steve Cortez might die. So it's the famous Steve yell. And so essentially we recorded various intensities of that from, just Cortez to Steve. And it also depended on whether how well Shepard knew Cortez, or whether Shepard and Cortez were in a romantic relationship. And so the one that ended up in the game was the one where Cortez, or the option when I was recording it is like, okay, this is the one where he dies and you were together. So it's the most intense one and the one that's filled with the most pathos. Somehow in the game it ended up that is the only one that is used no matter what. So even if it's like you barely know him and he's fine, it's like, Steve! You okay? Yeah. Yeah.
My worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Concatenation.
Yeah, but I found it quite amusing. That was quite funny.
So yeah, the reason why Shepard yells Steve is because that particular line was meant for when Shepard and Cortez were romantically involved. Hence the passion. But because of a bug or error, this line was included for this scene whether or not you were in a relationship with Steve Cortez. Funnily enough, the alternate version where Shepard just yells, Cortez, only happens in cases where Steve actually dies in the shuttle crash. Shepard is not the only character who has an unintentionally funny response to Steve's shuttle crash. If Steve meets his unfortunate end here, then your 3 human squad mates, Ashley, Kaidan, and James, will all react in a really over-the-top way. Let's check it out.
Damn it, I'm hit! Cortez! You're gonna pay for that, you fuckers! Come on, yeah!
And here is Kaidan.
Cortez! You're gonna pay for that!
And finally, the famous Ashley.
Cortez!
You're gonna pay for that, you bastards!
Ashley sounded like a straight-up banshee. I can never get enough of this, man. After exposing Saren to the Council, Anderson and Udina will present the commander with 3 leads to track down on Therum, Pharos, and Noveria. Most players will head off to Therum to recruit Liara, as she is the last squad mate who rounds out our crew. However, if you delay the mission until after Pharos and Noveria, and potentially even Virmire, then Liara will have been trapped in the force field so long that she thinks Shepard is a hallucination in this unique dialogue.
Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help. Are you real? Oh, no. Don't be stupid, Liara. Humans do not come here. You're hallucinating. And talking to yourself. Oh, Goddess. I am going to die here.
We're here to save your sorry ass, so snap out of it.
You're rude for a hallucination. My subconscious must want to punish me for being this stupid.
Doesn't matter what you think. I'm getting you out of there.
You almost had me convinced there. I would not expect a hallucination to be defiant. Well, I'll play along. As you can see, I am trapped here. If you're as real as you claim, find a way to get me out.
How'd you end up in there?
Ah, yes, the figment of my imagination wants me to retrace my steps. See if I can figure out where I went wrong. I was exploring the ruins. When the Geth showed up, I ran in here and activated the defenses. The barrier curtains could protect me. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please.
You shouldn't have been messing with technology you don't understand.
I know how it works. I've studied it. Oh, calm down, Liara. You're yelling at a figment of your imagination. Listen, if you're real, find some way past the barrier curtain. Find some way to deal with the Geth. Then use the control panel to release me. If you're not real, leave me alone. I'm tired of talking to myself.
The funniest part about this whole scenario for me is that when you bring Liara up to speed on what's been going on, she has a mega crash out because Shepard learned more about the Protheans than she did in 50 years of research. The Renegade dialogue options here in particular are hilarious.
That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
They were wiped out by the Reapers, a race of sentient machines.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of... How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Not to mention your little run-in with Sovereign. I'd call that definitive proof.
And then there's the cipher. I'm not sure what that other Asari did to you, but she did something.
Sovereign, the cipher, a Prothean beacon. I'm sorry, this is all a bit overwhelming. I need a moment to collect myself. I have spent most of my adult life investigating the Prothean extinction. Decades of intense academic study and field research. And for what? I never thought it would end like this. You show up and tell me all the answers just fell into your lap. It isn't fair. All those years wasted.
There's a rogue Spectre out there looking to destroy the galaxy. So quit whining and help me stop him, or I'll drop your ass back in that volcano.
I am sorry, Commander. I don't know what came over me. You are right, of course. We have to stop Saren. That is all that really matters.
It is technically possible to not recruit either Wrex or Garrus in Mass Effect 1. While digging up dirt on Saren on the Citadel, you'll have the option to recruit Wrex and or Garrus in an effort to infiltrate Fist's stronghold at Korra's Den. You'll need to pick up either Wrex or Garrus at this point, but if you don't recruit one of them, they'll be waiting near the elevator in CSEC when Shepard is leaving the Citadel. At this point, they will ask to join your crew and take the fight to Saren, but recruiting them at this point is technically optional. Let's see what happens when Shepard says no.
You, human. You the one they call Shepard?
That's me, Commander Shepard.
The name's Wrex. The Shadow Broker paid me a lot of money to get rid of Fist. Only you got there first.
It's not my fault you were slow on the draw.
When I get paid to do a job, I finish it. Alone.
I don't like where this is going.
But I didn't finish this job, Shepard. You did. So the payment is yours.
Bounty hunters don't just go around paying off people who take their contracts.
I won't take credit for someone else's work. I transferred the payment into your account. I like the way you handled Fist. Now I hear you're going after Saren. I was thinking I should come along.
You're a bounty hunter. What do you get out of going after Saren?
I'm not in this for the money. I want to be where the action is. There's a storm coming, and you and Saren are right in the middle of it.
Why me? Saren's already got a lot of Krogan working for him.
Those aren't Krogan. They're servants. They grovel at Saren's feet to lick his boots, trading their freedom for promises of wealth and power. My people were a proud species once. Some of us still remember that. I won't bow down to Saren like the others.
A Krogan's more trouble than I need.
I don't cause problems, I solve them. You go after Saren, you'll be glad I'm around.
I don't want you on this mission.
Your loss. If you change your mind, come look me up. I'll be over in Korra's Den.
Congratulations, Shepard. Heard they made you a Spectre. I'm glad somebody got the Council to see Saren for what he really is.
What do you want?
I resigned from CSEC after the Council ignored my investigation. I was sick of all the politics. You're the only one who seems to be doing anything about Saren. Let me come with you.
I don't need a Turian shooting me in the back when I least expect it.
All Turians are not the same. I'm not like Saren. I couldn't prove it in my investigation, but I knew what was really going on. Saren is a traitor to the Council and a disgrace to my people.
I don't want you on this mission.
I'll be here if you change your mind.
Interestingly, if you don't recruit Garrus for the rest of Mass Effect 1, he'll actually have some unique dialogue when you meet him on Omega in Mass Effect 2.
Shepard. I thought you were dead.
Garrus Vicarian?
In the flesh. What's left of it.
What are you doing here?
Just killing mercs. Nice of you to join me. There's plenty to go around.
Shepard is less excited to see Garrus, more just surprised, really. But still, this dialogue feels a bit too familiar for a couple of people who only spoke to each other twice before this moment, especially considering how harsh Shepard was with Garrus during that encounter.
I don't need a Turian shooting me in the back when I least expect it.
Funnily enough, the rest of the dialogue in this mission wasn't adjusted, so Garrus will still say things like,
"You can do what you do best. Just like old times, Shepard."
If you finish Mass Effect without recruiting Wrex, things get a bit strange in Mass Effect 2. Your first opportunity to learn about his fate happens during a conversation with the Elusive Man. When discussing your old squad, you can ask about Wrex, even though you never recruited him.
Where's Erdnot Wrex? He returned to Chichanka, and he hasn't gone off-world in over a year. He's trying to unite the Krogan clans.
But when you eventually make it to Tuchanka, Wrex is nowhere to be found. Without having the street cred of defeating Saren, Wrex was unable to take a leadership role in the clan. His brother Reeve will be at the head of Clan Erdnot instead. If Wrex died in Mass Effect 1, Reeve will typically confront Shepard about this in your first conversation with him. But in this case, he doesn't mention it at all. Despite this, Rex's name will come up in a conversation with Malin. When you ask why he didn't want to work with Clan Erdnot, Malin will speak as if Wrex is in power.
Erdnot has a larger camp than Werelock. Why not use them?
Erdnot Wrex is too soft. He wasn't willing to do the experiments I needed. It's Erdnot's loss and Werelock's gain. Their clan will be the first to recover from the crime we committed.
So it's like Bioware didn't iron out all the kinks in this scenario. Some characters speak as if he's alive and in power, others don't mention him at all. But in any case, it's a cursed decision anyway. Let's talk about the secret way to save Wrex on Virmire in Mass Effect 1. If you decline to recruit Garrus at the beginning of the game and complete the Virmire mission before recruiting Liara, then Wrex will automatically stand down during the big confrontation with Shepard, even if you never retrieved his family armor.
This isn't right, Shepard. If there's a cure for the genophage, we can't destroy it.
This has to be done. Saren's the enemy, not me.
Really? Saren created a cure for my people. You want to destroy it. Help me out here, Shepard. The lines between friend and foe are getting a little blurry from where I stand.
I don't care what your personal feelings are. This base gets destroyed.
Don't push me, Shepard. I followed you because I wanted to fight for something more than credits. If you can't give me a better reason than this to destroy the hopes of my people, then I'm done with you.
All you need to know is that I'm giving you an order to fall in line.
So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. Well, it's your decision, Commander. Go on then. Don't let me get in your way.
On the face of it, this encounter is very strange and makes no sense at all. Typically, you need to talk Wrex down with a speech check or complete the mission to retrieve his family armor, in which case he'll stand down because he trusts Shepard. Otherwise, Wrex will wind up getting killed by either Ashley or Shepard. So why would Wrex suddenly just stand down and ignore all the mechanics of this encounter just because Liara and Garrus are not present? I believe I know the answer. Consider this. Ashley and Kaidan both get removed from your squad partway through the mission. So if Wrex were to die on the beach, and Shepard also didn't have Liara or Garrus, then the player would need to complete the rest of the mission with only Tali. But the entire game is designed around Shepard having 2 squad mates in the party at all times. You have to bring squad mates with you. It's not optional. And the only time I can think of where Shepard is down to 1 squad mate is the brief moment after Jenkins' death, before you recruit Ashley on Eden Prime. So I suspect the devs shoehorned this scenario into the game at the last minute to ensure Shepard would always have 2 squad mates for the entire Virmire mission. And that's why this cutscene is probably so choppy and scuffed as well. They slapped it together last minute once they realized that players could technically get stuck with only 1 squad mate for the rest of the mission. Along with Samara, Zaeed is the only squad mate who can die during their own loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2. But you need to meet a specific set of requirements in order to set this up. If you wait to complete Zaeed's loyalty mission until after the suicide mission, and he survives said mission, along with at least 2 other squad mates, then Shepard unlocks a hidden option to abandon Zaeed for dead at the end of his quest to track down Vito. If you save the factory workers, then Vito escapes, and Zaeed gets trapped under a metal beam. At this point, if you're feeling a bit devious, then you can leave Zaeed for dead.
Stop screwing around. Let's go.
You're too crazy, Zaeed. You have no place among my crew.
You can't be serious. You need me. Screw you, Shepard.
It is technically possible to fail Thane's loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2. While tracking the Turian politician through the Citadel, if you lose sight of him, then you'll trigger this unique cutscene and quest ending.
I don't think we can pick up his trail again. I'm heading to Talid's apartment. Meet me there. And so the wheel of fire mills another soul. Entropy wins. Entropy always wins.
Man, I just love that line. Entropy wins. Entropy always wins. Most players know about Shepard's Renegade and Paragon morality scale. But did you know your squad mates in Mass Effect 1 also have their own morality scores as well? And the decisions you make with them can actually shift their morality. The most dramatic shift has to be with Kaidan Alenko, specifically if you play as Renegade Femshep and romance the guy. In this case, you can pussy whip Kaidan from a cucked Paragon to a based Renegade who puts the Alliance above everything. And let me tell you, it leads to some pretty wild dialogue. To do this, you'll need to choose a specific dialogue choice while Kaidan discusses his experience with the Turian biotic trainer. When you reach this point in the conversation, you must choose the option all Turians are the same to complete Kaidan's transformation.
You can't deny the Turians are imperialists, and the Asari, the Solarians, they're manipulators.
Shepard, I outgrew the blame game years ago. If the Alliance is missing its chance, it's because of men like Udina, not the rest of the galaxy holding it back.
When anyone out here listens to us, the Council starts up with their treaties and heel dragging. We can only rely on ourselves.
We're not doing the galaxy any favors if we try to force our way into a seat at the grown-up table. They aren't malicious, they're just slow to change. My story doesn't get any better if Vernus is a good guy.
Saren and the Geth are running wild now. There's no time for slow to change, and you know it. Are you gonna let them pull humanity down with them?
Look, I can't deny they've been reluctant to step up, but with everything we've dumped in their laps, sometimes you just get overwhelmed. You don't know what to do, so you don't do anything. I know I was paralyzed after Jump Zero.
They're burying their heads in the sand while Saren rolls over the Terminus systems. If they won't help themselves, we have a responsibility to save them.
All right, maybe it would be better if the Alliance had more pull on the Council. In some ways. Well, you're damn persuasive, Shepard. You should have Ambassador Udina's job.
You'll know it worked if Kaidan expresses this dialogue during his visit to Shepard's quarters before your trip to Ilos.
What happens if this doesn't work out, Shepard? We mutinied, we stole a prototype warship. If they wanted to get technical, they could throw in kidnapping. And those damned aliens sure love to get technical, don't they?
Blind, useless fools. I'd have given them fiddles, but I doubt they read history.
Ours or theirs. 50,000 years to figure this out, and it's down to 25 mutineers. Way to go, Team Milky Way.
If you've shifted Kaidan in a more Renegade direction, and you bring him and Wrex along for the final mission, then Wrex will actually be the one who argues to save the Council in this rare dialogue.
We can save the Ascension. Just unlock the relays around the Citadel and we'll send the cavalry in.
You can't sacrifice human lives to save the Council. What have they ever done for us?
This is bigger than humanity. Sovereign's a threat to every organic species in the galaxy.
Exactly. We can't throw away reinforcements trying to save the Council. We have to hold them back until the Citadel arms open up and our fleet can go after Sovereign.
What's the order, Commander? Come in now to save the Ascension, or hold back?
Hold off, Joker. We're not sacrificing human lives to save the Council. Keep our ships back until they can get a shot at Sovereign.
Sacrifice the Council to win the battle. A good plan, but only if it works.
What's the order, Commander? Come in now to save the Ascension, or hold back?
Opening the relays now, Joker. We need to save the Ascension no matter what the cost.
I hope you know what you're doing, Commander.
Bro, Renegade Kaidan is based as fuck, not gonna lie. It's also just so wild to see Wrex being the one who tries to get Shepard to save the Council. And if you're wondering specifically why this is, it's because your squad mates in Mass Effect 1 are on a sliding morality scale from Renegade to Paragon. During specific choices like whether you spare the Rachni Queen or whether you save the Council, one squad mate will always take the Renegade stance and the other one will go Paragon. This will be determined by which squad mate is more Paragon or Renegade than the other one in the party. And the same character can end up playing the opposite role depending on the second squad mate in your party. For instance, Ashley will typically argue that Shepard should kill the Rachni Queen because she is generally one of your more Renegade squad mates. However, if you bring Wrex along, since he is more Renegade than Ashley, then Ashley will actually try and convince Shepard to spare the Rachni Queen instead. In the case where Kaidan goes through his Renegade transformation, he actually becomes the most Renegade character in your crew, which leads to Wrex taking the Paragon stance on saving the Council if both of them are in your party. A pretty wild scenario overall. Out of all the squad mates in Mass Effect, none have more plot armor than Dr. Liara T'Soni. It's impossible for her to die in either Mass Effect 1 or 2, and for most of Mass Effect 3 as well for that matter. However, there is one specific scenario where she can bite the dust at the very end of the game. If you have a very low war asset score, then Shepard's companions will get vaporized by Harbinger during your dash to the Citadel beam. And if Liara happens to be in your squad at the time, well, you see where this is going. This scene is also the only way that James and or Javik can die on screen in Mass Effect 3. But there was originally another way that Liara was intended to die in Mass Effect 3, or at least a choice that could have led to her death. Prior to the release of Mass Effect 3, files containing earlier versions of the game's script were leaked, giving us a window into some story concepts that ended up getting cut from the game. One of these storylines involved a Virmire-like choice where Shepard would have to choose between two dying squad mates during the Thessia mission. Originally, Liara and the Virmire survivor were both supposed to appear once Shepard located the Prothean VI on Thessia. In this case, the Virmire survivor would be working with Kai Lang, suspecting that Shepard had gone rogue. In an ensuing battle, both the Virmire survivor and Liara would be gravely injured along with the commander, but the player would be able to intervene and save one of these characters. A badly wounded Shepard would crawl to either Liara or the Virmire survivor. Whichever character Shepard aided would survive, while the other one would succumb to their injuries. I suspect that most players would end up choosing Liara in this scenario, but in any case, the script was significantly reworked prior to release, with the Virmire survivor's standoff happening in a completely different mission, and Liara's plot armor getting restored for Thessia. But speaking of Virmire and cut content, Bioware originally intended to have an option to save both Ashley and Kaidan during the Virmire mission in Mass Effect 1. As the game stands now, Shepard has to make a choice to rescue either Ashley or Kaidan during the mission. But cut dialogue hidden in the game files reveals that at one point there was an option to save them both. In the aftermath, Ashley and Kaidan would express thanks back on the Normandy that the commander managed to save them both. Let's have a listen.
Thanks, Commander. Things got pretty hot down there. You saved my life.
Both our lives. I don't know how you did it, Commander. The Alliance will come up with a whole new medal for what you pulled off here.
If they don't court-martial you, you endangered the entire mission. Why didn't you just leave one of us behind?
The mission was never in danger. I had it all under control. Say what you want, Williams. If you were calling the shots, you'd have done the same. Alenka would have too.
We might have tried, Commander, but I don't think either one of us could have pulled this off. Anyone else? I'd say they got lucky.
Kaidan's right. Nobody else could make a stunt like that work. Put anyone else in charge and someone gets left behind. Or the mission fails.
No one gets left behind. Not while I'm in charge.
Now, if only Bioware would have included an option for Shepard to sacrifice them both instead. On a completely different note, Joker's voice actor Seth Green still has the Normandy as his banner photo on Twitter, which I think is awesome. What happens if you don't release Grunt from his tank in Mass Effect 2? Grunt is one of the first batch of squad mates you will recruit in the game. Shortly after bringing his tank back to the ship, Shepard has the option to release him, in which case he becomes our squad mate. But you can technically just leave him in the tank and complete the whole game without ever releasing him. In this case, Grunt will be replaced with a completely different Krogan NPC during the Rachni mission in Mass Effect 3. This Krogan, named Erdnot Dag, will always end up dying during this mission, regardless of your choices. And his final dialogue line is a bit on the nose.
Time to die.
I don't know why you would ever deliberately choose this outcome, but hey, it is an option nonetheless. And speaking of other things you should never do, you can sell Legion off as scrap in Mass Effect 2 in exchange for a 50k bounty from Cerberus. If you make this diabolical choice, then not only will you lose out on a great squad mate, but it will be impossible to make peace between the Geth and Quarians in Mass Effect 3, forcing you to choose a side in the war. On top of this, Legion will show up as an enemy during Shepard's attack on Kronos Station near the end of Mass Effect 3. Once again, Miranda steers us wrong. I bet next she'll tell us she can create an effective biotic shield. Legion is not the only one who can go from potential friend to enemy in Mass Effect 3. If you fail to complete the Grissom Academy mission before the Cerberus attack on the Citadel, then she will get kidnapped by Cerberus. When we make it to Kronos Station near the end of the game, we can discover an audio log of Cerberus's interrogation of Jack.
You really should have run when we took Grissom Academy, Subject Zero.
My name is Jack!
We're learning a great deal from those students who were training. Some of them may even survive.
I'm gonna tear you apart!
That's funny. I was just thinking the same thing.
Later in the mission, we'll discover what ultimately became of Jack, as she shows up as an enemy, specifically one of Cerberus's Phantom units.
Cerberus forces en route.
They damn well better be. I'm gonna broke a sweat. Damn it, we've got jumpers!
Is that all you got? I believe that was Jack.
It wasn't her. Not anymore. It's one more thing that Cerberus will answer for.
During Cerberus's attack on the Citadel, Shepard will discover that Udina betrayed the Council and worked with Cerberus to carry out a coup. At the end of the mission, Shepard pursues the Council in an attempt to save them from Kai Lang and expose Udina's betrayal. But standing between us and the traitor is our former squad mate from Mass Effect 1, either Ashley or Kaidan, depending on who you saved on Virmire. The Virmire survivor believes that Shepard is actually the one working with Cerberus, owing to the commander's past allegiances. And in the ensuing confrontation, you'll have to either convince them to stand down or shoot them. But what most players don't know about this encounter is that there is a hidden trust meter working in the background, which determines whether the Virmire survivor will side with Shepard or stand with Udina. I've put a list on screen which shows all the decisions that go into this encounter. If you have a high enough score, then the Virmire survivor will automatically side with Shepard.
I better not regret this.
You won't.
Udina, step away from the console.
If you have a middling score, then you will need to pass a speech check to convince them.
Weapon down, Commander. It'll help your case a lot.
Ash, you think you're doing the right thing. I respect that. You serve with distinction and honor. But the person you're defending isn't worth it. I don't want him dead. I don't want anyone here dead. But you can't let him open that door.
Everyone calm down. We can hold out here. We can call the Solarian Counselor. This can all be cleared up.
To hell with this.
Gun!
And if your score is too low, they will side with Udina, forcing you to kill them.
Holster your weapon, soldier.
Damn it, Ash.
Counselor, get the door.
Ashley. God damn it, Ash. He was with Cerberus.
So were you. I hope the Reapers send you to hell.
If Shepard fails to hit the Renegade interrupt to shoot the Virmire survivor, then one of your squad mates will shoot them instead. The trust meter also impacts whether the Virmire survivor will join you as a squad mate afterwards. If you have a middling trust score, then Ashley or Kaidan will refuse to come with Shepard on the Normandy and instead take a job from Admiral Hackett. Aside from the Virmire survivor, Thane also plays a big role in the Citadel attack in Mass Effect 3, stepping in to save the Salarian Council from the rat-tail samurai Kai Lang. But what happens if Thane died in the final mission in Mass Effect 2? How will things play out in the Citadel in Mass Effect 3 without Thane? With Thane dead, the fate of the Salarian Counselor will depend on another choice you make back in Mass Effect 1. During your assault on Saren's base on Virmire, Shepard will work with a Salarian soldier named Kirrahe.
In the battle today, we will hold the line!
As you proceed throughout the base, Shepard can take specific actions to weaken the Geth and Krogan defenses, making the battle a little easier for Kirrahe's forces. If you disable all the defenses, then Kirrahe will survive the mission. In this case, he will step in and save the Salarian Counselor's life if Thane is absent in Mass Effect 3.
Now it's fun.
Kirrahe!
But what happens if Thane and Kirrahe are both dead? Well, in this case, things don't end well for the Salarian Counselor.
Now it's fun.
You're gonna pay for that.
This outcome is truly cursed because in the aftermath, Udina will show the Virmire survivor doctored CCTV footage to make it look like Shepard killed the counselor. This makes it harder to convince them to stand down.
Observe. Here is Counselor Eshiel being shot in CSEC headquarters. Here is Commander Shepard pulling the trigger.
You're gonna pay for that.
What more do you need?
I'm sold.
Man, that's some Sora 2 type shit from Udina there. Just straight up nasty work. Punching the reporter is one of the most iconic and hilarious running memes in the Mass Effect series. Even the most die-hard Paragon players tend to give the old haymaker to the slanderous journalist. But what happens if you don't punch the reporter? If you stay your hand in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, then you can have this unique dialogue when meeting the reporter in Mass Effect 3.
Commander Shepard, Khaleesi bint seen in Al-Jalani. Isn't it true that you were on Earth when the Reapers attacked? How do you justify running away while millions of people on Earth die? Is that the best we can expect from the Alliance?
I came to get help for Earth. For everyone.
What about all the people suffering while you play politics with the Council? What about them? How can you stand here while our families die? What are you going to do?
Khaleesi, we're doing everything we can.
Before they cut the feeds, there were so many dead.
I'm gonna stop the Reapers or die trying. But I need your help. Keep asking the hard questions. Don't let the Council forget about Earth.
I will. Thank you, Commander. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but I'm glad you're on our side.
In this case, Kalisa will be recruited as a war asset worth 10 points. What happens if you don't recruit Tali in Mass Effect 2? Tali is one of the most beloved squad mates in the entire Mass Effect series, and while most of you couldn't imagine failing to bring her along for the attack on the Collector base in Mass Effect 2, she is technically an optional recruit. After finishing the Horizon mission, the Elusive Man will provide you with 3 additional dossiers for Tali, Thane, and Samara, but it's not mandatory to recruit them to proceed with the story. However, failing to recruit Tali has some dire consequences for both Mass Effect 2 and 3. For starters, Tali is the only one that can provide us with a crucial ship upgrade to the Normandy's core. Without her multi-core shielding, one of your squad mates is guaranteed to die when the drive cord overloads on your approach to the Collector base. Most likely this will lead to either Kasumi or Legion getting incinerated. But things get even worse in Mass Effect 3. Without Tali's influence, peace between the Geth and Quarians becomes impossible. At the end of your mission on Rannoch, Tali will be replaced with Admiral Ron in the ensuing cutscenes. If you side with the Quarians, Ron shoots Legion with a shotgun, and if you side with the Geth, she blows her brains out. So BioWare really wanted to let us know that while Tali's recruitment is technically optional, not bringing her along is truly cursed. What happens if you don't forgive Kelly Chambers in Mass Effect 3? Assuming you saved her in Mass Effect 2 and had dinner with her in your cabin, then Kelly will appear on the Citadel in Mass Effect 3. If you convince her to change her look to keep a low profile, then she will survive the Cerberus attack on the Citadel. But later, she will confess to Shepard that she was spying on the commander for the Elusive Man during the events of Mass Effect 2. At this point, you can either say it's all water under the bridge, or you can refuse to forgive Kelly and basically tell her to go fuck herself.
Shepard, I'm glad you came by. I need to apologize to you.
About what?
Back when I was your yeoman, I betrayed you. I didn't mean to, but I did.
What are you talking about, Kelly?
I would send reports to the Elusive Man about the emotional state of the crew, including everything I knew about you. I thought we were all on the same team, that I was helping you, protecting you. But looking back...
You spied on me? You didn't trust me?
I trusted you implicitly. I still do. I thought I was doing my job. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't matter what you meant. That's just not right.
Shepard,
But it doesn't end there. In the aftermath of Shepard telling her off, we learned from Ken Donnelly that Kelly met a tragic end.
Did you hear? Kelly Chambers is dead.
Oh no, what happened?
She committed suicide.
That's terrible. Why would she do that?
I don't know. Maybe our experience with the Collectors was too much for her.
Mass Effect has had a lot of iconic expansions over the years. Lair of the Shadow Broker, Arrival, and of course the Citadel DLC in Mass Effect 3. But one expansion that most players forget about is Pinnacle Station, which is the only DLC that BioWare did not include in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition remaster. But why was this DLC excluded from the remaster? Well, it has to do with a third-party developer. You see, BioWare didn't develop Pinnacle Station in-house. They contracted another dev called Demiurge Studios to create this expansion. And when BioWare started work on Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they contacted Demiurge, who informed them that the original source code for Pinnacle Station was lost. BioWare estimated that it would take an additional 6 months of development work to rebuild the DLC for inclusion in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So they made the executive decision to exclude this expansion from the game. Pinnacle Station is definitely the weakest DLC out of all the ones I've played in the Mass Effect Trilogy. It's basically a long series of combat simulations with very little story. Mass Effect stands out because of its approach to role-playing, choices, and story. So slogging through missions that have none of that really doesn't lean into what Mass Effect does best. You would get some pretty awesome loot and a baller apartment though, so it is kind of a bummer that Pinnacle Station is lost to the ages just for those factors. In any case, if you're playing on PC, you can download a mod that restores Pinnacle Station to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This mod came out about 6 months after Legendary Edition dropped, so I guess BioWare's estimate on how long it would take to rebuild the DLC was fairly accurate. Hanging up on the Council is one of the biggest running jokes in the Mass Effect games. While reporting back to the Council throughout Mass Effect 1, Shepard can choose to cut off the call in frustration.
Do not cut me off like last time. I fail to find it amusing.
Whoops. And we're out.
And as a callback, in Mass Effect 3, Joker will actually have some unique dialogue, much to the chagrin of Liara.
Who knows? Hell, maybe the Council's just taking petty revenge for Shepard hanging up on them all those years ago.
Wait, Shepard did what?
Oh, sorry, I think we're going through some dark matter. Hello? Hello?
What happens if you cheat on Liara in Mass Effect 2? If you romance another squad mate in Mass Effect 2, after having a relationship with Liara in the first game, then she will have some vitriolic remarks for your new love during the Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC.
Will you just stop for a second? We'll be jumping several light years. There's time to talk.
About what?
About us.
Shepard, listen, I'm glad you're here.
Are you worried there might be terminals you need me to hack?
That's not fair. You were dead.
I came back.
Yes, you came back. And now you'd rather pass time with Miss Lawson and her low-cut jumpsuit. Look, Shepard, I'm an information broker. I learn things. I didn't mean... Look, for now, let's focus on getting Farron back.
Fine. I came back.
Yes, you came back, and now you're itching to get under Tali's helmet.
I came back.
Yes, you came back, and I've been tossed aside for a tattooed woman with anger issues.
You worried there might be terminals you need me to hack?
That's not fair. You were dead.
I came back.
Yes, you came back. And now Garrus is doing a lot more than just calibrating the Normandy's guns.
I came back.
Yes, you came back. And now you're more interested in seeing Jacob with his shirt off.
I came back.
Yes, you came back. And now you're trying to take the place of a dying man's wife. Look, Shepard, I'm an information broker. I learn things.
Hey girl, is it technically cheating if I was dead for 2 years? We were on a break! Conrad Verner is basically a meme character who makes an appearance in all 3 Mass Effect games. In Mass Effect 2, there is a hidden Paragon scene you cannot view without using a save editor, but some context is required to lay this out. In Mass Effect 1, Shepard could respond to Conrad's fanboying in a few different ways. You can basically tell him off completely, in which case the interaction would end and Conrad would wind up dead. But if you indulged his inquiries enough, he would eventually express his desire to become a Spectre just like Commander Shepard. At this point, you could take the Paragon approach and talk some sense into him, or take the hilarious Renegade option of shoving a gun in his face as a reality check.
I know you're afraid to trust people after losing your team at Akuz, but I'd never let you down.
All right, let's see. I'm a bad guy. Stop me from killing you.
What? No, please. Please don't hurt me. Why are you doing this?
This is how a gun in your face feels. It happens to me every day. You can't handle this.
I thought you were a hero. Heroes don't do things like this. I wish I'd never met you.
When you meet Conrad in Mass Effect 2, he would have different dialogue depending on what Shepard said in that final interaction in the first game. But due to a bug in the save import system, Conrad would always use the dialogue reflecting the situation where Shepard shoved a gun in his face.
You're really holding out on me? I'm a man on the edge. I got nothing to lose. I'll do anything to get the job done. I'll go all the way without a second thought. You want to see how far I'll go? I learned how to shove a gun in people's faces from Commander Shepard?
So this scene where Conrad comments on Shepard's Paragon approach is completely hidden from the player unless you use a save editor to properly flag the choice. Let's take a look at this rare scene.
I'm Commander Shepard's squad mate, practically second in command. You don't want to mess with me.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna save the galaxy. I don't have time for your crap.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Anybody messing with me will answer to my good friend, Commander Shepard.
Hey, if you know this idiot, can you rein him in before I slap his ass with a singularity?
Shepard? Is it really you? It's me, Conrad Verner. We met on the Citadel. I wanted to become a Spectre. You're alive. Oh, this is the happiest day of my life.
Conrad, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not acceptable.
Oh, my foot! You shot my foot!
That shot barely grazed you, you big baby. Sorry, my father was a Krogan.
It still scared me. I'm new at the badass mercenary thing. People don't usually shoot me. Oh, this is the happiest day of my life.
Conrad.
Ha! Kick him in the quad! Sorry, my father was a Krogan.
Okay, I had that coming. But I'm so happy to see you alive, I don't even mind. Carrying on the work you started has been so hard, but I've tried to do what you would have wanted. Oh, this is the happiest day of my life.
Conrad, why are you acting like me?
Well, you were gone, right? And the galaxy still needed protecting. So I decided to finish what you started, in your honor.
Any decent security system will detect that you aren't in the military, much less part of my squad.
I just say that I'm deep cover and don't appear on systems. I'm doing the best I can, okay? You were a hero. You saved the galaxy and showed everyone what humanity could do. And then you died. The galaxy needed someone like you, Shepard. We all did. I had to do something.
How did you get that armor?
Oh, they make some pretty convincing replicas these days, if you're willing to pay. Getting the whole getup was pretty expensive, but my wife was really supportive. She even paid for my shuttle fare off-world.
Why were you trying to get the deed to this place?
This place is actually a front for a red sand dealer. I need to take it over to crack the ring.
What? Who the hell told you that?
The owner of that weapons store near the carport. She's an undercover cop. She told me about it when I introduced myself.
Listen, crap for brains. First, we don't sell red sand. Second, red sand is legal on Ilium. You just need a license.
I'll talk to this undercover cop and figure out what's going on.
Thank you. If I kill annoying customers, it usually causes property damage. That comes out of my pay.
Just let me know if you need any help, Shepard.
In Mass Effect 3, Bioware gave a subtle nod to this dialogue bug by having Conrad apologize in this conversation.
I'm sorry if I ever accused you of pointing a gun at me when you didn't actually do that. I was really stressed out.
Another interesting detail about Conrad Verner is that he is the only character who can die in every single Mass Effect game. If you tell off Conrad in Mass Effect 1, then he'll get killed in a bar fight with some Turians.
CSEC has declined to press charges in the death of human Conrad Verner, who was killed yesterday morning after assaulting a group of Turians in a restaurant in the wards. Because Verner initiated the assault, it has been ruled self-defense. Ambassador Udina has no plans to appeal the ruling.
Similarly, if you tell off Conrad in Mass Effect 2, then he'll meet his end in an insanely over-the-top fashion.
A skycar accident has claimed the life of tourist Conrad Verner, who attempted to capture transient youths hitching a ride on the top of a bus. The would-be hero fell from the bus, struck several passing cars, and eventually fell into the power turbine of a biomass recycling facility.
Finally, if you fail to complete Jenna's side mission in Mass Effect 1, then Conrad will die taking a bullet for Commander Shepard.
Hey, that's him. That's my Cerberus contact. Hey, you! You're under arrest. Shepard. Did I help?
Yeah, Conrad. You helped.
Okay, that last one hits really hard though. What the fuck? During the end of the Asari monastery mission in Mass Effect 3, Samara will threaten to take her own life rather than fulfill her justiciar role and execute her own daughter. Most players will step in and stop this from happening with a Paragon interrupt. But what happens if we just stand back and let things play out?
There is only one way to save Valere.
Mother, no!
My daughters, you were all so much stronger than I believed.
Mother! Why would she do this after Rila saved our lives? You did nothing to cause this, Valere. Samara made her choice. She shouldn't have had to. My mother died because of our code. Because I'm an Ardak Yakshi. Please, leave me with her.
It's your choice. But the Asari may not send ships here for a while.
I don't intend to rely on ships coming for me. If the Reapers return, I promise they won't find me here alive.
The wildest option in this scenario is that you can actually execute Samara's last daughter as well.
You're an Ardat Yakshi, Valere. I can't risk you leaving this planet.
I have no plans to leave. And I'd never let the Reapers take me alive.
I can't take that chance.
What are you doing? Isn't losing my family enough?
Bring the shuttle. I want off this planet.
Getting your coordinates now, Commander.
Just follow the smoke.
That poor girl.
Valere?
Yes. Shepard, did you really have to... Never mind. I should get back to work.
You're as cold as ice, willing to sacrifice. If you took the Renegade approach and sided with Morinth in Mass Effect 2, what happens to her in Mass Effect 3? In the beginning of the game, Morinth sends Shepard an email explaining why she disappeared. And for the most part, we don't get to see her in person again. We can also uncover some emails she exchanged with her sisters Valere and Rila. But it's only during the final mission of the game that we discover what ended up happening to Morinth. While disabling the Hades cannon at the start of the mission, Morinth will show up on the other side of the battlefield.
We've got company.
So yeah, Homegirl got captured by the Reapers and turned into a Banshee, a cruel fate for the unhinged psychopathic baddie. There is a hidden romance with Javik that you can experience under hyper-specific circumstances in Mass Effect 3's Citadel DLC. If you're playing as FemShep and you're not currently in a relationship with any other character, then when you go to bed and end the party, this cutscene will play.
Turns out there is one thing primitives are good at.
Not a word.
This romance is strange for a number of reasons, but the main one is that the player doesn't explicitly opt into this encounter. Player choice is a big deal in RPGs, especially with romance, so having a romance scene foisted upon you with no choice to opt out is pretty wild for a game like this. Ubisoft actually had a fairly big controversy over a similar design choice in Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Legacy of the First Blade DLC. If you were playing as Cassandra, not only would you have a romantic relationship foisted on you with no player input, but Cassandra would have a baby with this man, which led to significant backlash from the player base. Ubisoft ended up issuing a public apology and creating some additional free DLC missions to smooth things over. Bioware managed to escape backlash for the Javik romance though, probably because most players play as male Shepard, and the ones who do play as FemShep will also pick a romance option prior to the Citadel DLC. So I would wager the vast majority of players didn't stumble upon this romance option naturally in their own playthrough. But Bioware would actually get steeped in a different controversy related to romance in the Mass Effect games, specifically with Fox News. Shortly after the release of Mass Effect 1, Fox News aired a segment called Sex Box, lambasting Bioware for including romance scenes in the game, with all your typical, "Won't somebody please think of the children?" style arguments. Jeff Keighley, aka the guy who hosts the Game Awards and pretends to be best friends with Kojima, went on the panel to defend Mass Effect. He did a pretty good job in my opinion, but the whole debate is just hilarious. I highly recommend looking up the segment on YouTube if you want to go down memory lane here. In Mass Effect 3's Citadel DLC, James will challenge Shepard to beat his record of 182 pull-ups. The competition is pretty tedious from a gameplay standpoint, as you'll have to hit 183 consecutive QuickTime events to complete your set of pull-ups. It's mind-numbingly boring. Hilariously, James will have some unique dialogue if you give up just before tying his record.
Oh, Shepard. Madre, you were so close. No! Son of a bitch.
If you beat James's pull-up score, he'll say this.
Holy hell, you did it. I don't know what to say. How you feeling?
Might need help pulling my armor on next time.
No doubt, Shepard. That was loco.
All Mass Effect players remember meeting Liara's mama in Mass Effect 1. But one detail that many players missed on a first playthrough is that you can meet Liara's other parent in Mass Effect 2 and 3. Matriarch Athena can be first met on Ilium, most likely dealing with Conrad Verner, but at the time, her true identity is unknown. However, Shepard can discover footage at the end of the Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC that reveals Athena staring lovingly at a picture of Liara. And this ain't no Photoshop hack job like Tali's original face reveal. Later in Mass Effect 3, Shepard can confront Athena about this footage, where she'll reveal that she is Liara's quote-unquote father. And with a little goading, Shepard can push Liara to go meet Daddy on the Citadel.
She's your father.
I know.
You know?
I'm a very good information broker.
And you haven't talked to her about spying on you?
If I did that, they might send someone who wasn't as sympathetic to me. Besides, this is hardly the time for family reunions.
Liara.
Oh, fine.
Fist is a minor villain that you will meet early in Mass Effect 1 while digging up dirt on Saren. If you bring Wrex along for this part of the mission, he will automatically kill Fist.
Oh my god!
However, if Wrex isn't in your party, you can actually choose to spare the guy. In this case, when you visit Omega in Mass Effect 2, you can actually bump into Fist in the afterlife.
Shepard? I heard you were dead. I had a party and everything. No hard feelings, though, huh? No, really. Thanks for taking the time to chase a small-time crook off the Citadel so I could squat in this shithole for years.
And if you leave the straight and narrow, I'll be there to follow up.
Right, because you don't have planets to save and bigger shit like that. Nothing better to do than keep me down.
I've been gone a long time. At some point, your crappy life is your own fault.
Maybe. Easier to hate you, though. But it doesn't matter. I'm not looking for a fight. It's enough to see your smiling face, Shepard.
Whoever you are, you stopped being relevant about 5 minutes after I apparently told you to run.
Hey, Fuck you, too. Ruin a guy's life. The least you could do is remember. Goddamn saviors of the galaxy. Messing with a man's living. I got the message last time. I work at a shipping dock, all right? Leave me alone. So I get friendly with the whores in my off hours. So what? That's all I got left of the old days. Thanks. I'm a good boy now, so piss off.
I think it's funny how the dude blames Shepard for all his life's problems for years. This really gives off the vibe of, you ruined my whole life. Who are you again? The Mass Effect games have a lot of pretty wild Renegade decisions. Everything from shoving mercs through skyscraper windows to shocking Batarians with cattle prods. But one of the wildest Renegade choices happens during the Noveria mission in Mass Effect 1. While tracking down Benezia, Shepard has to obtain a garage pass in order to leave the station. There are a lot of ways to accomplish this goal, but I'd wager most players will end up working with Parasini to get the pass. However, one lesser known choice is ratting out Gianna to the shifty Salarian Analeus. If you tell Analeus that Gianna is a secret agent working on behalf of his employers, then it leads to this insane cutscene.
Would you mind stepping outside? I'm afraid I will have to let Miss Parasini go. It can't wait. Your mind has not been fully on your duty to me.
I don't understand, sir.
I'm not losing this job.
Analeus, if I don't report in, the board will figure it out. Put the weapon...
I said I'm not losing this job!
At this point, Shepard can just loot the garage pass and head out of the station. A pretty wild ending, all things considered. When you visit the Citadel for the first time in Mass Effect 2, a Turian C-Sec officer will flag you down as you go through security. Since Shepard is still listed as deceased in the C-Sec records, he recommends speaking with Commander Bailey to clear up any confusion. During this meeting, Bailey can either fix your records or leave them as is, depending on what dialogue option you choose. He'll also suggest you go meet with the Council. However, if you run past Bailey and meet with the Council before speaking with him, he'll have some unique dialogue when you greet him for the first time. There are two different versions of the conversation, depending on whether or not Shepard was reinstated as a Spectre. If you regained your Spectre status, Bailey will greet you like this.
Ah, Spectre Shepard. I'm glad you have time to talk. I'm in charge of this precinct. Welcome to Zakara Ward.
I was told you wanted to speak with me.
I read about your career. Trouble follows you. Not that I'm getting on your ass about it. You get things done. I respect that. If you're going after someone, tell me who. I'll get civilians out of the way and provide any information you need. Anyway, something else you need? Or can I get back to work?
However, if you didn't become a Spectre again, Bailey will say this instead.
Ah, Commander Shepard. Word is you told the Council to get stuffed.
It wasn't that dramatic. I just told them I wasn't interested in being a Spectre again.
You know how many people have turned down the offer to be a Spectre in the last 1,000 years? 3. The other 2 were Asari matriarchs. I read about your career. Word is you told the Council to get stuffed.
They wanted me to play by their rules. I do better outside the rules.
The Council literally lives in an ivory tower. They don't see the galaxy's big, bad people, so they make rules for the little nice people.
At this point, we've covered a few different running jokes and memes from the Mass Effect series, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention the saga of the Refund Guy. In all 3 Mass Effect games, we can stumble upon a guy arguing with a merchant. Here is the encounter in Mass Effect 1.
I don't think you bought this here. I don't sell this model.
Look, I know it was you. I remember your face.
Really, that's impressive. Usually you humans can't tell one Turian from another.
This was the place. Now, are you going to give me a refund or not?
Do you have your proof of purchase?
What? No, I don't think you ever gave me one.
I'm sorry, then. I can't help you.
But what do you...
Can't help you. This isn't a proof of purchase.
It's a bank statement. It shows that I bought something from you and when I bought it.
Well, thank you for buying from me, but this still doesn't prove that you purchased that item from my store.
But I didn't buy anything else here.
How do I know that? If you don't have the proof of purchase, I can't help you.
But...
Sorry. Oh, sure, I can return that for you.
Thanks. Hasn't worked well since I bought it. Hey, are you refunding his stuff?
Here you go. Your account will be credited.
You did! You took his return! Look, I'm telling you, I bought this here. Why won't you return it?
I can't take it back unless you...
I know. Unless I have a proof of purchase.
We can find another Refund Guy argument in Mass Effect 2.
I just got a refund in exchange and I was told to pick up a new Omnigel converter here.
I don't think you have the right place.
No, they said to go to the warehouse. This is the warehouse. Look, it took me a long time to get this refund. It's a Cision Omnigel converter. He said there'd be one waiting for me.
Do you have a service order?
No, I got the refund, made the exchange, and then he said go to the warehouse. I just talked to him on the Wards Market. He sent me here. Come on, why do I need a service order?
The Wards Market? Why would you come to a Zakara Ward warehouse?
He said they're out of stock and I should go here. He didn't say anything about a service order.
Without a service order, I really can't help you.
Ugh. Wait, this was a trick, wasn't it? He sent me to the wrong place just to get me to leave.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I've been trying to get this refund for 2 years. 2 years! I'm not giving up now.
You'd get a lot farther in life if you just held on to your service orders and receipts.
The Refund Guy returns yet again in Mass Effect 3, this time arguing with the Solarian merchant.
I'm afraid I can't help you.
But your manager said you could give me a refund if I made an appointment.
You're not on my appointment list, and you don't have a receipt. I don't even think we carry that version anymore.
Listen, I don't need a new model or store credits or anything. I just want my money back.
There's nothing I can do without a sales record of some kind.
I can go get the warranty book from my car.
At this point, Shepard can intervene. You can crush his dreams by supporting the merchant.
Are you keeping this guy at work while there's a war on?
Well, it's his job, right?
Actually, I'm supposed to be on break. Contacting the family I haven't heard from in days.
Yeah. I guess maybe a war's a bad time.
Maybe? That didn't cross your mind the other 10 times you visited this week?
Yeah, sorry. I'll just, yeah.
I've never seen anyone so obsessed with getting a refund for a toaster oven.
Wait, all of this was for a toaster? I love these games, man. Or you can finally vindicate the dude and get him his refund.
Look, he's not gonna leave. The sooner you refund him, the sooner you go home.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get this over with. Here, I've sent you a full refund.
Really?
Yes.
You mean it?
Of course I do.
A full refund?
Yes, congratulations. The whole 15 credits.
Oh, wow.
Hey, thanks.
Mass Effect Andromeda was largely panned by the fanbase, but I wanted to include a couple of Easter eggs that call back to the original trilogy. One is that you can meet Zaeed's son, Bane, on the planet Eos. You can also meet Conrad Verner's less cool sister in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Sorry, if you're looking for a dance, I'm off the clock.
What's it like spending your time down here?
Better than back home. Had to get away from my crazy family in the Milky Way. My brother, Conrad, well, he's a couple of quarts low on EZO, if you know what I mean. But now I'm here, and it's great. That Sloane Kelly, I want to be just like her. That attitude, her accent. She's like, hey, you bastard, lick my boots, kiss my ring, and then my bum. I want to work for her, learn the ropes. Then call up my brother Conrad and be all, see, idiot, you're not the only one in the family hanging out with famous people.
Right. Good luck with that.
To say the ending of Mass Effect 3 was controversial is a bit of an understatement. The final moments of the game were so poorly received that Bioware ended up releasing an extended cut version of the ending several months after release. Fans quickly began developing theories and memes about the ending, such as the much discussed Indoctrination theory. I have a full video diving into Indoctrination theory if you want to get into that, but for this video, we're going to talk about the Marauder Shields meme. Just before Shepard Shepard reaches the Citadel beam, a single Marauder pops out and takes a pot shot at the commander. If you fail to shoot this Marauder in time, you will get a critical mission failure. Given the poor reception of the ending, fans began to make jokes about how Marauder Shields was really there to protect us from the ending, a true hero trying to save us from impending disappointment. On March 14th, 8 days after the launch of Mass Effect 3, an anonymous user created this thread on 4chan outlining the significance of Marauder Shields. The post reads, "He was the final boss, but you just don't understand how serious this was. This isn't just some random Marauder who popped out of nowhere. This Marauder waited to fight you from the very beginning. Even if he lost, he would at least know you were his final opponent." Many users responded to this thread with the simple sentence, "His name was Marauder Shields." This, of course, being a reference to the "His name is Robert Paulson" scene from Fight Club. Now, why is he called Marauder Shields? Well, just because that's literally the text that displays on screen, the name of the enemy and their shield health. At the time of release, some players also experienced a bug that would cause the game to crash when this Marauder showed up, feeding into the meme that Marauder Shields was there to prevent us from experiencing the disappointing ending to the game. One guy even went so far as to develop a 30-part webcomic concocting a fan theory that Nihilus from Mass Effect 1 was this Marauder. You know, the Turian Spectre who Saren kills on Eden Prime. Mass Effect fans certainly don't lack for imagination. Another significant meme that sprang up in response to Mass Effect 3's ending was the Cupcake meme. A side-by-side comparison of the cutscenes from each of Mass Effect 3's main endings shows that all the visuals are almost identical, aside from a color palette swap based on whether you chose to destroy the Reapers, control them, or synthesize all organic and synthetic life. This led many fans to basically describe Mass Effect 3's ending as being the same exact flavor with the different colored icing. But this internet tomfoolery actually escaped into the real world when a troll mail-ordered cupcakes to BioWare's office in Edmonton. There were 3 variations of icing in this batch of cupcakes: red, green, and blue, representing the destroy, synthesis, and control endings to Mass Effect 3. The cupcakes included a note that stated, "The cakes are vanilla, and so is all the icing. No matter which choice you make, it'll all have the same generic flavor." In the end, BioWare devs didn't even get to enjoy the cupcakes, as I'm sure it would have been a HR catastrophe if it turned out the desserts were poisoned or something.
The lead designer, Preston, he was like, we're not going to eat these cupcakes because they're going to taste like sarcasm.
And then so we donated them all, which is good. I appreciate that, but I really wanted to eat those those snark cupcakes.
I thought it was funny. See, that to me wasn't like, that was some, if they had put poison or something in there, which we all were like, are these safe?
Commander Shepard isn't the only one who can develop a romance arc in the Mass Effect games. With a little persuasion, Shepard can play wingman for a Krogan poet named Char in Mass Effect 2, and connect him with the Asari baddie of his dreams, a woman named Araba. If you do this, you can spot the couple visiting Tuchanka later in Mass Effect 2. But sadly, this story does not have a happy ending. While exploring the Rachni layer in Mass Effect 3, Shepard can uncover this audio log on a dead Krogan soldier.
Looks like a last message. He's asked that it be delivered to an Asari named Araba on the Citadel.
Turns out this was the Krogan poet we met on Ilium in Mass Effect 2, and if we return to the Citadel, we can report the unfortunate news to his girlfriend Araba.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You need to hear this.
Blue Rose of Ilium. If these humble words reach you, then I have joined my ancestors.
No, no, no.
My dream was to be by your side, a weed beside your beauty, twining together in the warm Tuchanka sun.
Oh, Char.
But if my last days must be with Grant instead of kindness, still I will remember the perfume of your scent and the soft touch of your petals.
Oh.
Let my broken bones build a wall around your garden, so you and the flower we planted together can grow safe and strong.
Thank you. I need to go.
One of the silliest controversies that Bioware experienced related to Mass Effect has to be the infamous Bootygate incident. When Bioware released the remastered version of the Mass Effect Trilogy in 2021, they adjusted the camera angle in 2 scenes featuring our squad mate Miranda. In the original trilogy, the camera would focus in on Miranda's backside, so Bioware made the decision to remove these gratuitous shots in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This led to a flurry of YouTube videos and posts lambasting Bioware for altering the original game. But for the most part, no one really gave a shit about this choice. Now, there is actually a mod that restores the original camera angles back into Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but there is a bit of interesting lore behind this. Shortly after the game's release, a modder going by the name Scotino123 posted a mod called Miranda Buttshot Restoration, which re-added these camera angles into the remaster. Now, here's the crazy part. This same modder had previously released a mod called No More Butt Shots for the original version of Mass Effect 2. So no matter which decision Bioware makes regarding Miranda, this guy is here to do the exact opposite. Tali's face reveal picture in Mass Effect 3 is one of the most infamous elements from the game. In the first 2 Mass Effect games, and for most of Mass Effect 3 for that matter, we never get to see what Tali's got going on underneath that face mask. Given Quarians' weak constitutions, they rarely leave their environmental suits lest they catch some sort of illness and die. But if you romance Tali in Mass Effect 3, she'll gift the commander a framed photo of herself without the mask. But instead of getting a piece of original art lovingly crafted by a developer at Bioware, what we got was a poorly photoshopped stock photo of a real-life model. Needless to say, this got memed into oblivion. Bioware ended up creating a new face reveal pic in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which of course some people also found reason to complain about. Sometimes you really just can't win, man. Anyhow, shifting gears, did you know that Commander Shepard can die in Mass Effect 2's final mission? To achieve the worst ending in the game and unlock this hidden outcome, you basically need to go out of your way to make all the wrong choices. If you make a specific set of decisions, such as failing to make ship upgrades, not completing loyalty missions, and choosing the worst options for each specialist job, then it is entirely possible to get your entire squad killed during the last mission of Mass Effect 2. And if this happens, then Shepard actually ends up dying as well during this fateful scene.
Commander!
Joker! Tell them!
You tell them. You're not doing this to me again.
Got to warn them. More are coming. Joker. Go.
Commander!
Shepard! Detonation in 15, 14.
In this case, Joker will speak directly with the Elusive Man at the end of the game, and unsurprisingly, you cannot import this save file into Mass Effect 3, you know, because Shepard kinda needs to be alive for that one. One Mass Effect detail I always found kinda hilarious is that everyone knows Liara is the Shadow Broker in Mass Effect 3. During the first 2 games, the identity of the Shadow Broker was completely unknown to the world. Not even his closest associates ever met the guy in person.
Nobody meets the Shadow Broker, ever. Even I don't know his true identity.
When Liara and Shepard infiltrated his lair at the end of Mass Effect 2 and discovered the broker was a Yogg, this was a pretty big deal. But in Mass Effect 3, everyone and their brother knows Liara is the Shadow Broker.
Becoming the big info brokers turned you into a real cynic, Liara.
It's like she posted the job title on her LinkedIn profile or something.
She has become a more private person since becoming the Shadow Broker. She's the what? Oops.
You'd think this is the kind of thing the Shadow Broker would have known about. Too bad I don't know him. Or her.
I'm sure the broker was very busy.
The archives. Or did your Shadow Broker miss that one?
Show yourself. I promise I won't miss.
Stick to your talents, Dr. Dasani.
The Mass Effect games have a number of Easter eggs related to BioWare's other big franchise, Dragon Age, particularly during Mass Effect 2's Kasumi Stolen Memory DLC. The villain of the DLC is a man named Donovan Hawk, who shares the same name as the protagonist of Dragon Age 2, at least phonetically. Dragon Age 2 Hawk is spelled differently. The statues in Donovan Hawk's vault are identical in appearance to the Darkspawn ogres we fight in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. The iconic Blood Dragon armor from Dragon Age Origins was also available as a DLC armor set for Shepard in Mass Effect 2. At the beginning of Mass Effect 2, after Shepard comes back from the dead, the commander will get an invitation from Anderson to meet on the Citadel. During this meeting, either the original council or Anderson will offer to reinstate Shepard's Spectre status, which the player can choose to accept or reject. However, there is a scenario where you cannot regain your Spectre status in Mass Effect 2, no matter what you do. If you let the original council die during Sovereign's attack, and you chose Udina as the counselor at the end of Mass Effect 1, then Udina will lead an all-human council in Mass Effect 2. In this scenario, he will not offer to renew Shepard's Spectre status, nor will Anderson, taking the choice out of the player's hands. The conversation goes like this.
It's up to you to stop the Reapers, Shepard. I can't even toss you a symbolic title like Spectre. Udina keeps close tabs on that designation. He's decided it's just an invitation to go rogue. Fine way to show gratitude for putting him in the big seat.
I know you're doing your best.
My best seems like a pretty small thing when we're talking about enemies this big.
I think I made my opinion of the Council's blessing pretty clear last time around. Keep it.
Figured as much. But it should be yours to refuse. Doesn't feel like I'm able to give you the help you deserve.
There are a couple of hidden cutscenes you can get in Mass Effect 3 if Shepard has too many drinks at the bar. The first time you get too shwasted, Shepard will black out and wake up on Arya T'Lok's couch. If you head back to the bar and have 3 more drinks, then Shepard will wake up in the elevator. One of my favorite funny moments from Mass Effect 2 is when Garrus and Tali roast Shepard over the Shepard VI.
What sort of trouble has Mouse been getting himself into?
Odd jobs for shifty people. Ducked rats take whatever is available to get by. Data running, fencing stolen goods, selling illegal VI personalities. Actually, he was selling one of you.
Me?
Yeah, when you erased a file, it would say, I delete data like you on the way to real errors.
That's pretty extreme, Commander.
Laugh it up, Garrus.
Buggy, though. It crashed every half hour. The error message was about how the galaxy was at stake, and you should fix the problem yourself.
What sort of trouble has Mouse been getting himself into?
Odd jobs for shifty people. Ducked rats take whatever is available to get by. Data running, fencing stolen goods, selling illegal VI personalities. Actually, he was selling one of you.
Me?
Yeah, when you erased a file, it would say, I delete data like you on the way to real errors.
That's pretty extreme, Shepard.
Laugh it up, Tali.
Buggy, though. It crashed every half hour. The error message was about how the galaxy was at stake, and you should fix the problem yourself.
This dialogue line that Bailey mentions is a subtle callback to Shepard's Renegade dialogue during the Darius mission in Mass Effect 1.
Given my rank, I'd prefer that you call me Lord Darius. Or how about your lordship, if my name is too difficult for you?
Is that a bad joke? I've killed worse than you on my way to real problems.
You think you can take me down? I've killed worse than you!
Tali has some hidden dialogue in Mass Effect 2 that players are unable to access through normal means. Originally, Bioware planned for players to be able to recruit any and all squad mates right from the start of the game. But given the limited disk space on Xbox physical media at the time, Mass Effect 2 had to be split onto 2 separate discs. Thus, Tali, Thane, Samara, and Legion's recruitment missions were all put onto Disc 2 after the Horizon mission. However, the developers had already recorded some dialogue for these characters in the earlier game missions. Tali in particular has some interesting dialogue on Horizon that can only be accessed by adding her directly to your roster using mods or a save editor. Let's take a look.
Mort, you sure these armor upgrades will protect us from the Seeker swarms?
Certainty impossible.
but in limited numbers should confuse detection make us invisible to swarms. In theory.
In theory?
Experimental technology. Only test is contact with seeker swarms. Look forward to seeing if you survive.
Commander, we're getting interference. We can't maintain.
The ship is disrupting communications.
We're on our own now. Those things look like the husks the Geth used on Eden Prime.
The Geth got that technology from Sovereign.
Guess the elusive man was right. The Collectors are working for the Reapers.
These things used to be human. The Collectors must have turned the colonists into husks. No, the Geth impaled their victims on giant spikes to turn them into husks. I don't see any of them here. The Collectors already had the husks. They took the colonists alive for something else.
The Collectors must be experimenting on the colonists. What are they up to?
Probably something horrible. I don't even like to think about it.
These aren't the same creatures I fought on Eden Prime. They're more advanced, evolved.
At least we can still kill them.
The Collectors aren't getting away with more victims. Let's move out.
Okay, Shepard. I'm ready.
All these empty buildings. It's unsettling.
It's just like Freedom's Progress. The entire colony. Gone. Must be some kind of stasis field. They're frozen, but still aware.
They've been like this a long time. If you have defenses, we can use them against the Collector ship.
You'd need to calibrate the targeting system first. It's never worked right.
We should be able to figure it out. Just tell us where to find it. I thought we'd run across more of those frozen colonists. The Collectors must have taken them to their ship. We're running out of time.
Tali will also make comments to the Virmire survivor, given that she knows them directly from Mass Effect 1.
Don't blame yourself, Shepard.
Shepard? Wait. I know that name.
You're with Cerberus now? Tali, too? I can't believe the reports were right.
Reports? You mean you already knew?
You're with Cerberus now? Garrus and Tali, too. What if they're behind it? What if they're the ones working with the Collectors?
Ash, can't you see what's happened? You're so focused on Cerberus that you're ignoring the real threat.
Legion, Thane, and Samara also have some unique dialogue for early game missions that players are not typically able to access. Let's check out a few examples.
Archangel's on Seaport.
What the hell are we waiting for?
What are they waiting for? Explosion. 5.3 times 10 to the 6th power joules. Damn it. They breached the lower level.
Legion, stay with Garrus. Keep them alive.
Acknowledged. Interesting choice, but I'll take all the help I can get.
A plague zone. The rules of civilization fall away in such area.
I don't know if I'm vulnerable to this plague. My people have few diseases.
It's safer to stick with a squad who's immune to the plague.
Whatever you feel best. If you need me, I'll risk it.
I will come, unless you do not wish it.
What happens if the homeworld doesn't want to pay?
We explain that we can't maintain the prisoner without their help, so we'll be forced to release him back onto his homeworld at an unspecified place and time.
That does not qualify as an illegal threat.
You don't have to agree with my methods, but don't question my motives. These are despicable people, and I'm keeping them locked up.
Let's get on with this.
Organics resist attempts at incarceration.
We're in space. They have nowhere to go, and they know it.
The subject will invent fiction it believes the interrogator desires. Data acquired will be invalid.
If you're buying prisoners, can you buy me? Man, I don't care where you take me or what you do to me. It's gotta be better than this.
Prisoner Jack.
Jack? Forget what I just said. I don't want to go nowhere with you.
There is a hidden cutscene on Eden Prime in Mass Effect 1 that many players miss. After deactivating the explosives in the tramway station and dispatching with the last of Saren's Geth forces, Shepard and crew will come face to face with the Prothean beacon. At this point, most players will walk straight to the beacon and activate a cutscene which marks the end of the mission. However, if you ignore the beacon for now and walk over to this balcony, you'll trigger a brief cutscene with Ashley and Kaidan. Yeah, here we go.
My God. It's like someone dropped a bomb.
That must be where the Geth ship landed. Sovereign.
And that's it.
There is a hidden dialogue option with Jack in Mass Effect 3 that most players miss. In order to get this dialogue, you must cure the genophage before going to Grissom Academy. This is tricky because if you visit the Citadel immediately after curing the genophage, it triggers the Cerberus attack on the Citadel, which causes the Grissom Academy mission to fail. So you literally need to head to Grissom Academy right after finishing up on Tuchanka. In this case, we can inform Jack about Mordin's untimely demise, leading to this unique dialogue.
What's so valuable about these students? Biotically, I mean.
Well, what's scarier than a pissed-off biotic attacker? A whole bunch of them working together. It's like a biotic artillery strike. Any asshole gets in our way, we rip him to shreds.
Doesn't that exhaust them?
Yeah, sure. But we've been working on conditioning, improving endurance. Whenever they complain, I tell them about the collector base, holding that damn biotic bubble up against those bug things. Ugh. I kept thinking, damn, let the Solarian handle this. He can talk him to death.
I saw Mordin. He's dead.
Yeah? Too bad. He had some wicked sex advice.
This is a callback to Mass Effect 2, where Mordin may give Shepard some love advice if the commander is in a romance.
Actually, wanted to talk. Medical matters. Aware that mission is dangerous. Different species react differently to stress. Aware that you and Jack are sexually active, or planning to be, suggest caution. Emotionally unstable biotics dangerous during intercourse.
You have a recommendation as a doctor?
Can give biotic inhibitor to dampen neural receptors, weaken unintentional biotic effects. No guarantees. Suggest padding walls. Biotic ability also gives benefits. Forwarding booklet to your quarters. Includes diagrams, exercises, inventive uses of Mass Effect fields. Can supply oils or ointments to reduce discomfort. Gave ED electronic relationship aid demonstration vids to use as necessary.
Wait a minute, Mordin. You're just yanking me around, aren't you?
Shocking suggestion. Doctor-patient confidentiality, a sacred trust. Would never dream of mockery. Enjoy yourself while possible, Shepard. We'll be here studying cell reproduction. Much simpler, less alcohol and mood music required.
When you visit the planet of Ilium, you'll bump into one of the colonists of Zoo's Hope, either Shiala or a generic NPC, depending on your choices. They'll explain that an Asari representative of a company called Baria Frontiers has stuck the colonists with a bad deal related to testing the effects of the Thorian. When you speak to the Asari, she spouts off a bunch of anti-alien sentiments, claiming the galaxy would be better off if only the Asari were around.
Humans, Solarians, Turians. You come to our planet, then complain that our laws don't suit you. The galaxy would be a better place if nobody but the Asari had ever dragged themselves out of the primordial muck.
If you prod her further, she says this.
Or my daughters, who died during the Geth attack on the Citadel. One worked in the embassy. The other was a greeter for the consort.
You can actually meet both of her daughters in Mass Effect 1. One is named Nelina, and you can speak to her to start the Asari consort's quest. Her other daughter, Saphira, can be found right outside the embassies. It's cool to see the writers tie characters together across multiple games, even minor NPCs like this. One of the worst Paragon choices Shepard can make in the Mass Effect games is the decision to spare Rana Thanoptis in Mass Effect 1. If spared, she will go on to join another shady research project in Mass Effect 2, and eventually get indoctrinated by the Reapers in Mass Effect 3, going on a killing spree that lowers our Asari war asset score. So sometimes it pays to go Renegade in certain cases.
I didn't have a choice, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't help. No, no!
Convincing the elusive man to stand down at the end of Mass Effect 3. Unlike most other persuasion checks in Mass Effect 3, our ability to unlock these dialogue options is not only based on our reputation score, but our previous conversation choices with the elusive man. In order to be able to convince the elusive man to stand down, we need to consistently take either a Paragon or Renegade stance with him in previous conversations on Mars, Thessia, and Kronos Station. If we pull this off, and our reputation score is high enough, then we can unlock these unique scenes with the elusive man. Let's take a look at the Renegade version first.
You'd undo everything I've accomplished. I won't let that happen.
you, humanity will suffer.
No! I saved humanity!
No. You sacrificed us for your own selfish wants. Your lust for control.
No! No!
You were supposed to protect us. And you failed.
No! I am the savior of humanity. I am the pinnacle of our species.
And now for the Paragon speech check.
You'd undo everything I've accomplished. I won't let that happen.
Because of you, humanity is already undone.
That's not true!
They have the Citadel. They've got us fighting each other, instead of fighting them.
I just need to...
You've done exactly what the Reapers wanted. You're still doing it because they control you.
They're too strong.
You're stronger. Don't let them win. Break their hold. Don't let them control you.
I tried, Shepard.
This dialogue check is a subtle nod to a similar one we have with Saren at the end of Mass Effect 1. Shepard will have the option to convince Saren he's been indoctrinated, but only if you make specific dialogue choices earlier when confronting him on Virmire.
It's not over yet. You can still redeem yourself.
Goodbye, Shepard. Thank you.
In terms of raw skill points, the most difficult speech check in Mass Effect 1 is convincing Ethan Jong to stand down on Pharos. Renegade players will need 10 points in the Intimidate skill to unlock the corresponding speech option. And it's even more difficult for Paragons, who need a fully charged, maxed out 12 points in Charm in order to unlock the Paragon speech check. By way of comparison, you only need 8 points in either Charm or Intimidate to convince Wrex to stand down on Virmire, and to convince Saren to take his own life on the Citadel at the end of the game. Think about that for a second. It's easier to convince Wrex to willfully destroy a genophage cure, and Saren to resist indoctrination from a powerful sentient AI, than it is to convince Ethan Jong not to be a corporate shill. Here is the Renegade option.
You won't get away with this, Jong.
So you keep saying, but nobody's gonna miss a few colonists.
You're a bean counter, Zhang. I'm a Spectre. Tell me, how good are those odds?
Spectre, it's a load of crap. There aren't any human Spectres. Right?
Is that really a chance you're willing to take, Jong?
Exogeny will send more assayers. They'll know what happened.
Tell them the Geth destroyed the Thorian.
Yeah, but the infected colonists can't be here when the company men come.
You can't just kill the colonists. It's not their fault.
If you kill only the Thorian, it might be enough to stop the infection.
And here's the Paragon version.
So you keep saying, but nobody's gonna miss a few colonists.
Can't you see the inherent potential in this colony? Think of the promotional opportunities.
Opportunities? What the hell are you talking about?
They recovered from an alien attack on a frontier world. Add that to your company profile.
Well, yeah. No one's ever gone broke playing the champion of humanity card.
Sadly, you'd probably make a killing. But if it will let us get back to our lives, I'm for it.
It just might work. Wait, no, but the infected colonists will throw a bit of a wrench in that plan. No, they need to disappear.
You can't just kill the colonists. It's not their fault.
If you kill only the Thorian, it might be enough to stop the infection. Maybe.
It's worth a try, but I don't know if I can avoid harming the colonists.
There has to be another way.
Maybe there is. Come and talk to me before you leave, Commander.
Just make sure there's no evidence when you're done.
Scanning planets and launching probes to extract resources is a big mechanic in Mass Effect 2. As you explore the galaxy and launch probes, EDI will provide running commentary. But if you happen to launch these probes into the planet of Uranus, EDI will have this unique dialogue.
Really, Commander? Probing Uranus.
I also find it funny that Uranus is completely depleted of resources. You know, from all the probing. During Tali's side mission to rescue Admiral Chorus's men from Rannoch in Mass Effect 3, Shepard will have to select a tech specialist to help disable the AA guns. Tali is the obvious choice here owing to her extensive technical prowess, but if you happen to bring James along for the mission and select him for the job, you'll get this humorous cutscene.
One of us needs to take those AA guns offline.
James, get on it.
Tech's not my specialty, but I'll pull a few wires, see what comes out.
The last Mass Effect 3 Easter egg that was ever discovered was revealed by a Bioware developer shortly after the release of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. When you land on Mars at the beginning of Mass Effect 3, if you navigate over to this area on the platform, you'll see a little Mars rover vehicle driving in the distance. This, of course, is a reference to NASA's Mars rover missions. In the age of the internet, it's wild that this Easter egg remained hidden for nearly a decade. I mentioned earlier that Bioware included some Easter eggs about their other big franchise, Dragon Age, but they also put in some Easter eggs for the Baldur's Gate games as well. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were Bioware's first breakout successes, cementing their name as a top-tier RPG developer. During the Leviathan DLC in Mass Effect 3, EDI talks about the Basilisk, a notorious enemy type from Baldur's Gate.
EDI, what project was Garno working on when he found the artifact?
Basilisk.
Got anything on Basilisk?
Several ships, a mythical creature, and a rare mid-tier enemy type in the Galaxy of Fantasy video game. It possesses a gaze attack capable of triggering synced animation kills. Player forums describe it as overpowered.
I meant the project, EDI.
Oh. Then, no.
The Basilisk had a gaze attack which could instantly turn your characters into stone and wipe out your entire party in a few short rounds, making them hated amongst the Baldur's Gate player base. In Mass Effect 2 and 3, Bioware also included a space hamster pet that Shepard could keep on the Normandy. This, of course, is a reference to Boo, the iconic miniature giant space hamster that accompanies the Ranger Minsk in Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and now BG3 as well. To round out the video, I wanted to include one clip from my worst playthrough of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, where Joker lists off squad mates who have died in the past based on previous choices. And yeah, this is what happens if basically everyone died. The list just keeps going.
Damn it, how many do we have to lose? Everybody back on Earth? Mordin, Grunt, Ashley, Wrex, Thane, Tali, Legion, Samara, and now Miranda. How many friends have we got left?
So there you have it. We've explored 69 secrets and tiny details about Mass Effect. Happy N7 Day! If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Mass Effect and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.